Paris gave him everything: money, power, glory, but not his destiny. Because from the time that he was a boy, his walls told a different story. Cristiano Ronaldo posters, a replica of the Bernabeu, and a vow that one day he will wear the white shirt of Real Madrid. And when he finally arrived, that dream rapidly turned into a nightmare. Played out of position, booed by his own fans, and humiliated in El Clasico. Meanwhile, in Paris, history was being written without him. PSG went on to live their first Champions League in history, and his closest friend Dembele rose as the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. The golden boy of France looked broken. The world declared the biggest mistake of his career, but maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was the sacrifice destiny demanded. Because in Madrid, greatness is never given, it's only earned. The story tells that when Mbappe was just 10 years old, a family friend gave him a replica of the Santiago Bernabeu. To most kids, they would have smiled and said thank you, but Mbappe looked at it and said that one day he will be the one to take him to the Real Madrid stadium in the VIP stand. It wasn't just fantasy, it was a vow. And at 13, he went on to visit Madrid's training ground, where Zidane, one of his idols, welcomed him. And then it came the iconic photo, where a 13-year-old Kylian Mbappé was standing beside no other than Cristiano Ronaldo. For a boy whose bedroom walls were covered with Ronaldo posters, that picture was no accident, it was confirmation. He even went on to study Spanish in school because he believed that one day he will need it. At Monaco, destiny began to show itself. A teenager terrorizing Manchester City, slicing through Dortmund, and standing fearless against Juventus. He carried Monaco to the Champions League semi-final, and at 17, he wasn't just a talent, he was Europe's rising storm. And then came PSG, the record fee, the throne, the spotlight. He became the face of French football, the golden boy of a nation, the superstar of a global project. He won titles, scored relentlessly, lifted a World Cup. But deep down, none of it silenced the whisper. Every medal in France was just a rehearsal. Every trophy was just noise. And the road always pointed to Madrid. In 2024, the vow became real. His unveiling at the Bernabeu drew 80,000 fans, something that has not been seen since Ronaldo. He stood there, no longer the boy from Bondi, but the man who carried this prophecy since childhood. He wasn't just presenting himself, he was holding his past in his hands. The replica stadium, the poster on his bedroom wall, the photo with Ronaldo, everything led to this moment. And then he said the words, since I was a child, my destiny was to play for Madrid. But destiny is never clean. His final season at Paris was chaos. When Mbappe refused to renew his contract, the club turned on him. He was exiled from the preseason tour and was sent to train with players that the club no longer wanted. And to add to this chaos, Luis Enrique made it public, stating, "We need to learn to live without Mbappe." For the boy from Bondi, who's been PSG's hero, it was a humiliation and a slow removal of everything he had built. Psychologically, this was tragic. He was no longer adored in Paris and not yet embraced in Madrid. Suspended between two worlds and belonging to neither, the decision was easy. At this point, he chose his dream, Madrid. But the scars also came with him. When arriving, Ancelotti forced him into a role he had no experience in. A pure striker, static, caged. Every mistake only grew louder. Missed penalties, humiliating offsides. A season spiraling into one of Madrid's worst in modern history. The press branded him as the problem. Fans booed him in the stadium he once dreamed of. Meanwhile, Paris thrived. A treble, the Champions League crown, and Dembele rising as the Ballon d'Or favorite. And from the outside, it looked like he had left heaven for hell. And here's the paradox. The world called it a failure, but the number is still another story. 44 goals across all competitions, La Liga's Pichichi, and the European Golden Boot. Most strikers will call 20 goals a dream season. Some will build careers of 30 goals. But Mbappe, in the middle of his worst year, he delivered 44 goals. Psychologically, it was agony, out of position, stripped of freedom. Every mistake amplified, every offside flag a wound, booed, doubted, second-guessed, and still he scored. This is the haunting truth. Even when broken, he produced greatness. And when you set those numbers against history, the paradox only deepens. Ronaldo at his peak scored 61 goals, and Messi's all-time was 73 goals. Even Haaland's debut at City was 52 goals in a system that was built around him. Despite all the chaos, Mbappe stood close to prove that if the system was shifted and if freedom returned, he could climb those mountains too, and possibly even surpass them. The world mocked him for falling short, but for Mbappe, the season revealed something terrifying. Even at his lowest, he was still among the best in the world. And then the page turned. Ancelotti stepped aside. Xabi Alonso arrived, and with him, a new system, a new vision, and most importantly, Mbappe's rebirth. For the first time, Mbappe isn't adapting to Madrid. Madrid is adapting to him. He's no longer caged. He drifts wide, attacks space, dictates plays. The freedom has returned, and the goals, they feel inevitable again. But the rebirth isn't only tactical, but it's rather symbolic. He now carries the responsibility that define Madrid's chosen ones. The official penalty taker, free kick taker, the true face of the club in media and identity. Everything changed. The man once mocked as a failure now wears the badge of the leader. Every ball, every moment runs through him. And in the opening weeks of the 2025-26 season, it is clear the swagger is back, the authority is undeniable, and the hunger is more alive than ever. The boy who once posed for a photo with Cristiano now stands as his true heir. This is no longer about proving he belongs, it's about taking the throne. So was leaving Paris a mistake? Not for Mbappe. PSG went on to lift the treble, and yes, Dembele rose as the favorite for the Ballon d'Or. But Paris, they create stars, and at Madrid, they create legends. Football isn't judged in single seasons, it's judged in legacies. Yes, Mbappe suffers now, he stumbles, he bleeds, but every scar carves him closer to the shape of destiny. He left comfort behind, not for certainty, but for the chance at eternity. The vow he spoke as a child still echoes. The photo with Cristiano still burns in his memory, and that vow will not die. It will either break him or crown him as a legend forever.
Voy a hacer 1, 2, 3 y vamos a decir juntos a la Madrid como una gran familia. 1, 2, 3, a la Madrid!
If you made it to this point, I just want to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I did. If you want to watch more stories like this, please feel free to subscribe or click here to check out some of my other videos. But either way, thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next time. Cheers.